So, regardless if the paychecks get better and better, I would still be fighting if the checks were $1,000, because I love getting in there. And, people are born to do what they do. And that's what I'm born to do, is fight. But as for CB, I wish him the best of luck. Not CB, Amir. I wish him the best of luck, and to continue and just take it as a professional career, and don't get caught up in the limelight, because that it'll bring you down.
How did the limelight affect you after you didn't expect it maybe to be so big? Tell me specifically what happened to you.
Just living the dream, I would have to say. Chuck Liddell is a great example. He was a superstar. When I won the show, he was a superstar, and I felt like, hey, this guy's a superstar. I want to be a superstar. I want to walk the red carpet. I want to, be this face in fame, and I got caught up in it, and that wasn't me. That wasn't Diego. That was just me finding myself, and now I'm centered, and my humbleness is what's going to get me to be a champion that'll stay the champion, and that's about it.
Diego, you were a pretty heavy favorite today, for what it's worth to the bookmakers. Your opponent seemed to be quite a prickly character, tough to put away. Could you talk a little bit about what you thought about him?
Yeah, Luigi, I have a tremendous amount of respect for him. He comes out of a very strong camp, American top team in Florida, where there's just tons and tons of talent. And he trained hard. He knew it was the opportunity of a lifetime for him to come in here and make a name for himself, show his skills, and he prepared to stop my takedown and sprawl and brawl. But what he wasn't prepared for was that my stand-up has always been improving. And it still, I still have a lot to improve. I'm a mixed martial artist, and people ask me what my style is, and I tell them it's a mixed martial artist. I prefer to be on the ground. I prefer to finish the fights on the ground. I prefer taking the least amount of damage possible in a fight. I want to extend my career and my longevity as a fighter. I don't want to get hit in the head a lot of so criticize me for not being standing right in front of somebody and brawl. That's not my style. My style is to fight smart, and if there's an opportunity, take that opportunity and run with it.
What do you call that, ground and pound?
That's a little bit of the ground and pound. That's ground and pound has always been my forte. Take a position, and unleash the animal, and that's what it did.
Diego, before you were in the UFC, you were known as a very aggressive fighter on your way up, and once you got here, you were still fairly aggressive, but I think tonight's the most aggressive we've seen you in your tenure in the UFC. What kind of inspired that in you tonight?
I gotta say, man, it was just, the energy was just amazing, and I really prepared well for this fight. I knew I was ready, and like I said, having my mother's side of the family, the Chavez's there, I got them there, man. It's like I ain't backing down from nothing, man. And that's small venue here. Just the energy was amazing, and I don't know. It's styles make fights. When it comes down to, it's style makes fights. You put me and Koscheck in there, our styles made not for the best fight, and certain fights. Me and Carl made an amazing fight, styles make fights, and Luigi came, he wasn't afraid to fight, he went for it, and he was ready, and it made for a great fight, and I was also ready to fight stand-in or on the ground or wherever the fight went.
What about your striking tonight? That was the most dynamic it's been probably ever that I've ever seen you fight. Where did that come from? I mean, you've been, and you mentioned Koscheck, where you focus a lot on your hands and your boxing.
Yeah.
Tonight you really mixed a lot of knees, kicks, punch combinations.
I started training. I really wanted to learn boxing, so I trained boxing, mainly boxing, for 2 straight years. And when I moved to San Diego, I started training. I trained at Alliance with Brandon Vera a bit. He's a big kicker and near. I have Fabricio Camoes, my main training partner, also is a well-versed stand-up Muay Thai fighter, and I also had a boxing / Muay Thai coach that helped me put it together. And we started just hit the mitts and throw them high kicks, and knees have always been natural to me. Anytime there's a knee, Carl Parisian, I knocked his tooth out with a knee. Joe Riggs, I knocked him out with a knee. It comes natural, and like tonight, it was natural.
Everyone saw you.
Oh man.
Diego, you talked about the limelight and obviously how that kind of comes and goes. How frustrating is it for the fans sometimes seeing a little bit fickle, where you're always only as good as your last fight, despite maybe a lot of fights that came before that? I mean, does that get to you, or are you now sort of beyond even that as well?
No, it doesn't get to me. I learned from my 2 losses, and I learned a lot about strategy. I learned a lot about game plan, and you have to be prepared to be patient, and that's something that I've learned in my last 2 fights that have paid off for me. Patience pays off, man. You can't rush your situation. You can't force it. Like I said, perfect timing, and the opportunity will present itself.